What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Yeah, I was over here just making out and checking out. Hold on, let me hear the. Can see people can hear me. Uh, yeah. Okay, good deal, good deal. All right, so yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties earlier. I was trying to figure out what the hell I was doing. I don't know. Then it was so I had to like scrap everything, put it back, and then when I figured it out, it was just one thing that I didn't click on. So of course. Welcome back to YouTube, man. So anyway, it's good to be here. I seen that Ghost was doing a video. I didn't really want to interrupt that because I kind of started when he did. I didn't know it until it popped. His notification popped up, and so I wanted to be quick with the video. So I was actually kind of glad that the video wasn't really completely working. What's going on with you, Michael? What's going on with you, people? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Mont, yes. What's happening? What's happening? So look, uh, I I I just wanted to touch on a couple of things, of course, but yeah, I seen the Ghost was that my boy Ghost was doing his video, so I didn't want his podcast, so I didn't want to interrupt that. And then I seen 100 because 100 was waiting on me because I had posted it at uh at like 7:45 or something like that, and Shady was in there, and then I was like, why nobody paying attention to me? Why nobody can't hear me? What's going on here? So I don't know. So I uh I definitely am and so I was listening to 100 going off talking about bug snacks and the whole BioShock situation. That was pretty funny. But yeah, but no, I wanted to talk about something a little bit different. What's going on with you, Sleepy? What's happening with you, bro? I wanted to get on something else. I see Zeke has already say get him. So let me first break this down and let people know that I'm not here to bash The Last of Us 2, right? I'm just not. I'm not here to bash it. I'm not on that parade. But what I am going to do is it's something that's been bothering me, and it seems like with certain other games, it doesn't get that same energy as other games should get. And so that's what I really want to kind of break down. Now, this right here it's self-explanatory right here. That's why I was showing you this little piece right here talking about The Last of Us 2. Um, if you didn't read it, there was a in the UK, it's like down 80%, um, which means that it's not going to probably most likely be number one coming next week. Now, it exploded. It had the best selling. Uh, they had the best, the best PS4 launch sales of all time, I guess, in the UK or whatever. But I'm not really here to talk about the sales either, because I don't care about sales. But this right here, where it says an endless stream of Japanese gamers are trying to sell used copies of The Last of Us 2. It says the game doesn't have the replayability value. The story is just uncompelling. See that part? That's them throwing shade because where I was reading it at, which I'm that's between the person who's playing the game and the person who's not. But it says but the same thing is happening in Russia, Ukraine, Poland, and other countries. And obviously, this is the same thing that's happening out there in the UK. I'm sure that it's definitely happening in the US. Now I know that the game is sold like gangbusters. I already knew that. But this is the thing. I also read an article today on IGN was talking to Neil Druckmann, and he was bringing up the point of their direction of what they wanted to do with The Last of Us 2. And they decided that they first wanted to go with an open world game. Um, Maybe not full open world, but they were looking at what games like Horizon Zero Dawn, how that's open world, things like that. They were looking to want to go that direction, but then something changed them, and they wanted to go more of the semi-linear uh, Gears 5 type of way, or you could say kind of God of War esque. But this is the problem I have, right? And this is not with all single player games. This is with this game. This game and these type of games like it. I remember where everybody was scrutinized Quantum Break. They were saying that the story was really short. Now it took me a little bit longer than other people because I played it on the hardest difficulty, and the fact that I went back and played the second part of the story. So, and then of course you could kind of jump in and play and look for other little tidbits, things like that. With this game, once it's done. Like a lot of people get into this point, a lot of stands don't like that word one and done. But this is exactly what's going on with you, Yobi. What's happening with you? But what this is the thing that bothers me more than anything. You pay 60 to 80 if you bought the collector's edition where you still get some nice stuff with the game or whatever. But you get this game. You've been anticipating this game for years. We're talking about damn near almost a decade. 7+ years. And what you get is at the most, a 2-day experience if you played straight through. Or just one day experience for waiting for 7 years, 7+ years. I know that there's some people that's like, man, I kind of want games to be shorter because of my work schedule. But even if you have a work schedule, like, I mean, I know what it's like to have a bad work schedule. Not here lately because I've been off, but definitely when I'm working in this summertime too, I mean, I pretty much would be in bed or at work at this point in time. But regardless, if there's anticipated a game I've been anticipating, let's just say, for instance, let's say Halo Infinite, right? Halo Infinite comes. We've been waiting for this game for 5 years. Game comes and it's just one sit down playthrough, maybe two, maybe a weekend. The weekend, the story is done, it's over, it's finished, finito, chitons. Are you kidding me? Like, that doesn't bother people. Like, the game has no replay ability, no replay value whatsoever. Once it is done, it is done. And I feel bad for a lot of people out there, especially for the gamers that could not that hated the story. Like I said, that's there's another person's opinion. 'Cause I've seen people go to the extreme, say it's the game of the generation. I've seen other people that said that it's the worst thing that PlayStation's had out of their exclusive lineup, story wise, not gameplay. But I've seen both extremes of it. But regardless of it, it's like that's it. I mean, you would hope that they'll have DLC, which nobody haven't said anything about any DLC, and the way that the game ended, I mean, you would hope that they would to explain a little bit more. But when you look at games that has an open world or games that are going to be in that type of wavelength, like The Last of Us, or even what's coming up with the new Spider-Man expansion, because that's all it is expansion. A 5 to 10 hour experience. I get that. That's a good little filler game. But see, those type of games right there, regardless what the name on the cover or the face of the cover is, those are perfect Game Pass games. PlayStation don't have Game Pass. They just don't. So to pay $60+, then Sony's going to try to come around and pull some garbage with this whole separation of the games with the and it's, with the multiplayer aspect. With the game should have already have the multiplayer in there, and then what are they going to charge for that? Are they going to be reasonable and charge for, let's say, $30? Or are they going to go 60 and then try to give this whole big shebang and have microtransactions and all of this? I can't wait to see what, because I'm pretty sure that the multiplayer was dope on the first game. So I'm pretty sure they're going to go balls to the wall on this one. But to me, what kind of experience are you going to give your customers? Are you going to, and if they're going to do, let's say that they have the same type of template, like, well, not template, but the same type of direction like Gears 5 does, which there was a lot of gamers that was bitching about how Gears was hitting you over the head with microtransactions, but yet all the maps and everything was for free. You thought that you can get just everything for free just because you make one purchase. That doesn't how that works. So how is how is Naughty Dog going to do this, or whoever's going to be making the multiplayer going to work this out? Because if you're going to do a multiplayer game solo, it's going to have some kind of way to earn more money and to to keep adding more maps, more characters, customization, all of that. So I'm wondering what are they going to do, and if they're going to hit people over the head for 60 plus, for 60, 80, or what collector's editions or whatever. I can't wait to hear what the stands got to say. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. This is the reason why I always tell gamers that try to get up on that soapbox with the rest of the so-called neutrals, and then they try to talk about, well, Xbox needs to follow the same pattern of what Sony does. No, they don't. All they need to do is just show people stuff to get them more excited. The games that they have, they're fun. But people, there's a lot of gamers that want to see, they want to see Fable. They want to know if Killer Instinct is coming. They want to know, they want to see what's going on with Halo. They want to see with other games that's coming out that's going to be that's so quote unquote AAA banger. I get that, but they don't need to change their direction and try to follow what Sony is doing because to me, the biggest problem that Sony has, yeah, they have great single player experiences, but when you say one and done, you get a game like The Last of Us 2 that is when you get it done, whatever, regardless of the experience that you have, it can be a fantastic game. But once it's done and it's done that quickly, I, really? At least with Halos and the Gears and the Forzas and all the same big three from where you got Minecraft, you got all these other games from Xbox. State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves. I could pop those games in. Bleeding Edge. I could pop those games in at any time and still get fulfilled and still like I got my money's worth because not only do they keep adding content, but they also keep going. They don't stop. That's the beauty of what Xbox brings. Xbox needs to expand to get back to where they were with the OG Xbox, with the 360, with their variety of games. They were poor, not you know what I'm saying they were poor compared to their predecessors for sure this generation, but the blueprint is there. They don't have to change too much of anything. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What do you think, Chad? I know you guys hear me. You think that I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I know that there's a time frame of how long certain games should be. Like Odyssey, that world is just too damn big. I mean, I hit it. I hit every aspect of that world. I had a crazy fun playing it, no doubt about it. But there were times that it could get a little tedious because you're like, man, I gotta go all the way over here to try to get this, get that. Oh my god, that's too big. The Witcher was because there was so much stuff crammed into The Witcher. That's what made that experience ridiculously long. So those two games can don't have to be in that category of games that fulfill to feel like you have a value. I do enjoy those games because I feel like I get more bang for my buck because I can continue to play them for months, even sometimes if it took me 2 years to beat The Witcher. So again, it's one of those things. If you did I think maybe just a complete playthrough of just keep continuing to play the game, I think it takes about 6, 7 months, maybe 3 to 7 months. I think I heard. So that's still giving more bang for your buck. Not playing the game, getting it done within a weekend, and then that's it. It's not like you can turn that game into the red box, and it's and you good because you just rented it for however much you did for that moment. You spent a big chunk of change for that experience and for that long of a wait. That just doesn't. That just feel palpy to me, man. I just feel like that's just a big ass slap in the face. You know what I'm saying? Sleepy Goblin, you said 30 hours. I heard somebody said it took them 35 hours to beat The Last of Us, but they said they took their time. For other people who kind of just played it, just followed the story without having going anywhere, I heard 18. The lowest I heard was 18 hours. That's inexcusable to me, especially for a title. I don't care about how beautiful the graphics are. I don't care about all that. I care about a reason for me to make that purchase. That's why I just said because I don't hate The Last of Us. I just because I bought the first game. It's just a fact to me is that I'm not spending $60. I want to know a little bit more about it. Even though I do know everything what happened in the story, I still the combat looks a lot better, looks cool. I'm not tripping about them, you know, taking out animals and stuff like that or whatever. I mean, I would want to play the game to experience it, but again, I wanted to see how long the game was going to be. God of War I thought was perfect because I think it took me about 40 some hours to beat God of War. I thought that was good. I felt I got bang for my buck for it. Especially I mean I didn't it was somebody gifted it to me, but um, I even looking at like Days Gone. I think that's perfect. Like you can play that game to where you can. have it, or Horizon Zero Dawn. Those are the perfect examples. Those games give you bang for your buck. Regardless of how you think about those games, those are the type of experience, single player experience without any multiplayer that I think PlayStation should aim for. Having people feel like they got more bang for their buck. Now I know that there's going to be stands that's going to tell me I'm wrong, this, that. I'm just complaining because it's a PlayStation game. No, this is the same energy that you guys had for Quantum Break. I remember these stories. They're like, oh, this game's too short, blah 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 blah. But then again, I guarantee you what would Quantum Break would have been if it was in Game Pass or a Recore or a Sunset Overdrive. Those games would be killing it right now because of Game Pass. PlayStation needs a Game Pass, and I guarantee you that it would thrive. Their games would thrive. I know that this whole notion that gamers don't want to spend their money. 100 made a really great point earlier when on his little video today, and where he said you already kind of paid for the game. If you're paying $120 a year for this service, regardless of just that first month, you're paying $1. You're still going to be paying anywhere from $120 to $110 for the year. You already bought that game. They're recouping more money from you than what, because you're only going to play so many of those games. As many games as they actually have in Game Pass, you're not going to play all of them. You're just going to look at the ones that you actually get and then you might try out a couple that a couple of friends may tell you about, or something may catch your eye, but you're not going to play every game in there. And then on top of that, if you really like that game, you're going to buy it. Just like a game called Indivisible. That is a dope little RPG. Anybody that's into RPGs, you need to go check it out. It's really good, really really good. But no, 100 made a great point on that. So this to me is like, how are you going to treat your PlayStation fan base like this by giving them such a game that is lengthy? I know this already. They're going to tell me otherwise, but a game that's short, that was that highly anticipated and people waiting for, and then it's done, and then there's really nothing else to fall back on. No hints of any DLC. You got multiplayer coming, but how long is going to be before the multiplayer comes, and how much is that going to be? Is gamers going to have to wait a whole year before they get the multiplayer, or even longer? And then on top of that, how much is that going to be? What's all it going to consist of? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I love what Xbox does and how they do their games. They just need to let the gamers know what the big stuff is coming, because I know a lot of people's been anticipating. I know a lot of people now are starting to really miss E3 because of this long dragged out wait. The hate of I hate it too. The fact that these price wars. But I do appreciate the fact that they both are taking this serious. Let the stand say what they want, but Sony is sitting back waiting, just like Microsoft. They're waiting, and they want that mind share. They're trying to go for it, and so I don't I just think that everything is going to be really cool. I think they're going to kick ass. So I definitely believe that. But yeah, no, I think single player games, if they're going to be that short, then they need to have DLC to come with it. I mean, if you have to charge another $20, kind of like fighters do, packages like with Ubisoft, how they do those games, 110 $110 or whatever, people will pay that money for that, as long as they got consistent content to where they can play those games and have a little bit more to the story. Another thing that tripped me out about The Last of Us as well, or any game that's like that, is the fact that they didn't give any players an option, or a second way to go through. Like, because once you get through it, it's done, right? So how is it that you're going to take this game, play it, get the ending, and then not come back and play it, and then maybe have an alter ending or something? I mean, there was somebody made a really great point that said, "Hey, look, like, if you're gonna play with the Abby character, uh, like, let her have a side story, kind of like in Quantum Break, or games just like that, and then whatever changes that you do within the game would change the outcome of something that would happen towards the end of that game." And then maybe at the end, or maybe there was a situation where uh, old girl Ellie does get the revenge, but then there was a consequence or something else. Like, I mean, it's just so direct and cut and dry. And I don't know. Like I said, if this was Halo, if this was Gears, just like speaking of Gears 5, like just kind of like how Gears 5 was between the whole situation where they had to pick who lives, who dies. And then that's going to be something that's continuing to the story that's going forward in the next years. Like stuff like that. So which means you had to go back and play it again to get certain outcomes. I don't know. I really don't know, man. I really don't. It just trips me out. It really does. Um, so oh, somebody was trying to post a link. So yeah, no, I think the YouTube gods is like, no, you can't post that. So Livewire said the game is great, but it's hard to go back because it's slow, especially after you already know the full story. See, that's what I'm saying. Like different scenarios where we could change, that could be changed or altered. Like man, like they took that much time to build up this story. And not like I said, I'm not knocking the story. I'm just saying in a sense of you just got this story and don't have an alternate to anything. Like I mean, the story is compelling enough, I suppose. But it's like this is it. See, Xbox gamers would be excited because this game would be in Game Pass, and people would know if they would love to hate the game regardless. And then they would play it, and then they would be like, "Oh, this game is dope. I'm recommending it." Or this game was bad. Man, I'm glad I got a chance just to play it. Didn't have to spend the money. PlayStation fans don't have that option. So I do feel bad for the people out there. What's up, Rain? I do feel bad for the people that bought the game, been anticipating it, and then it's just a bad situation. Also, uh, PlayStation just has to do better with gamers, in my opinion, with linked games, because the Spider-Man thing bothers me. It really does bother me because if you're gonna Miles Morales, it's not like my boy Locke, Team Osiris, where a lot of people don't know anything about his lore other than if you read comics or books, or watch Nightfall or whatever. But it's but people didn't get the full grasp of who Team Osiris is. But people know who Miles Morales is. He has a huge backstory. Matter of fact, there's a lot of, especially the younger kids. That was something we talked about on GRG. That they like Miles Morales more than they like Peter Parker. So why would they not give him his full game? I mean, and even if it was going to still be having the same assets from the old Spider-Man that just came out not too long ago, you can still make that game a lot bigger. Like, I mean, that's almost kind of like well, I can't call it a cash grab yet until we know what the price is. But if this is a fat 60, just because they said it's got ray tracing and the speed of the SSD, them SSDs, bruh, we gonna need some PlayStation cats to start speaking out. Bruh, come on, you have to start speaking out. That's just kind of like Halo Infinite's coming, right? And it's the length of ODST, bro. You know what kind of hell would be coming? You know what kind of hell would Xbox be coming? Phil would probably lock himself up in there and turn off all electronic devices because the pain would come. You know what I'm saying? Them SSDs and the power, you know what I'm saying? And you got this dope ass game supposed to be coming. You got everybody hype off of this. The Banish is coming, and you give us a game that's the length of ODST? Bruh. it would be it would be a problem. A problem. So, and then on top of that, I heard, now people in the chat, please let me know if I'm wrong or not, but I heard that Spider-Man game might not even be a launch title for PS5. Is that true? So, I mean, that's just a bigger slap in the face. I think that Miles Morales should have got his own game, his own personal game. Let the Spider-Man 2 be Miles Morales. Have a dope ass DLC where Peter Parker come, and then when you set up Spider-Man 3, whatever you're gonna be, you play with them both. And then it just, I mean, there's so much more potential, but just giving out an expansion for 5 to 10 hours at max, that's just because you're going to be chasing backpacks all through the city just to get to that 10-hour mark, trying to platinum, bruh, bro, bro, Yobi. Oh, it didn't say 2021, did it? Did it say 2021? Oh, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. So another thing too that I got a problem with this whole with the games with the certain one and dones is the fact that and maybe that's just because I mean I'm more into the digital gaming thing. I mean I had to cross over on it because my disk drive messed up on my OG on my Xbox One Fat, and I think that was kind of like on purpose, pretty much. It just because there was so many people's uh, disk drives just messing up back to back to back to back, and then Xbox will take care of it, but they're gonna buy those games digital. So hey, we kind of ease them and force them in there. I kind of think that was a little sly move, me personally, but I have no proof. But it's the fact that I was like, all right, I'm just gonna pull it because the only games that I did buy digital was those arcade games that was on the 360. That was it. Um, so I was reluctant, nervous, because I was just like a lot of other gamers that just want to buy hard copies. Just have it sitting there. It's always cool when you got the people coming over and you see your PS3 games, your Dreamcast games, your Xbox games, your OG Xbox games, your PlayStation 2 games, all lined up. People just let them know that you was what you was about. But it oh handy, that is crazy, bro. That's embarrassing. Anyway, all right. Y'all enjoy that. I did say, and I want to don't keep that promise. I am going to give out a couple of copies of Spider-Man, because I heard that there was already people that was trying to um, make that that garbage call like they did about Locke. Like I don't want to play with Locke. I don't know. No, no, you're gonna play as a black dude. Be happy about it. So I will give away a couple of copies of Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully Sony won't be trifling and hit me over the head for a $60 bag. You know what I'm saying, for a couple of titles, but hey, it's Sony. Who knows? So, but if it's 30, I'll maybe buy one or two extra. But regardless, I'm definitely going to give some of those away in support of the game, regardless. But I was hearing the people just tripping out upon Miles Morales. They need to they just need to stop tripping on that and start letting people accept playing as other protagonists. I mean, I can't say that enough. I cannot say that enough. But back to my point. With the games, with the whole game issue. I had to disc all that, and then when I changed over and went to digital, I got I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. And then so I remember I really wanted Shadow of Mordor, and I wanted Forza Horizon 2. And so when it came back, I just went. I just wanted to get. I had the money, so I just went ahead and bought them digital. By the time that my Xbox came back, didn't really take that long because they had a little program that if you signed up and turned it in, I forgot how it worked, but it came back really quick. You sent that Xbox in, and then like a week later, it was like I don't know about 4 days later, it came right to the door. The new one came right to the door, but it had to be signed off or something like that. I forgot how, but you had to sign up to some kind of program to do that. And so I got it really quick. So I went ahead and just got it. So I was like, I got it digital. Let me just go ahead and try it out because I was, like, man. And ever since then, I just fell in love with it because it was just so easy to operate. So now majority of my library is this, and then I don't have as much clutter. Even though it is dope to see people's vintage, having vintage games up everywhere and stuff like that. I think that's dope, but I mean, I don't really need all that clutter. And besides that, I got big Briggs running around here, and that tail start hitting something. So I'm not trying to do all that. So I'm just all into the digital world. But for the gamers out here that has played this game or games like the Last of Us 2 and already beat it, and then they try to take it out. This game is already depreciated to the point I read that it was at EB Toy Store for $40. The game's only been out a week. In $40 out there in Japan, they were trying to get rid of these games so much. There were so many games that they were selling it for $10. $10 because they had so many people was trying to sell so many of them after they got done with it. Now, of course, that little article or little point of view they were talking about, they were trying to make fun of the fact because they hated the game story, which, like I said, I don't hate the game at all. That's not my point. My point is, it's just like GameStop is almost out of here. You take that game, what once you buy that game at GameStop, walk out the store, come right back in, you already going to just get $40. You know what I'm saying? You, it's it, $40. Now, GameStop is really tripping. I was hearing from somebody that worked at GameStop saying that they're turning it back. There's so many of those games coming back that they have to turn people away or give them such a lower price for their return that some people get pissed off and then they just go back. Okay, okay, Yobi. You said 20. Okay, holiday. That's why. Okay, holiday 2020. So that's what I was saying. Like, okay, all right, good deal. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thanks for clarifying that. So, um, so yeah, I just like that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. And so for people who went ahead and bought it digital, who didn't really pay attention to finding out how long the story was. They probably was thinking that this game was going to be there for a long time, or there was some people maybe thinking that it could have even had if they weren't paying attention to the news and things like that, to the gaming news, or certain YouTubers, they just wanted to get the game because they loved the first one, and they were probably thinking that the first game, I mean the second game would have the multiplayer like the first one, and then they don't have it, and then they beat the game. They're stuck with it. Like I said, man, I do not want PlayStation. I mean, I do not want Xbox to take anything from what PlayStation does on how they do their games. Xbox has enough common sense to the people at Xbox have plenty of common sense to know what the gamers want, regardless of what the stands say about that. They don't care. They want to just force feed us little cheap, indies and low graded copies of games. They know what the gamers want, and they know that they want multiplayer games as well. They want replayability. They want more value. Thank you, Yobi. I appreciate it, man. I am back. So I'm not going to go 100 long because he went, I think he went well over an hour. But I see that I'm over here like 32 minutes. Yeah, this new studio thing is kind of slick. I kind of like it actually. I just needed to know what I was doing because I was using the old school uh studio, which has got the white screen. This is all different, much more slick. That's why I was having so many problems the first time. So I'm not gonna keep you guys. I know that there's other things to be doing, and on top of that, I'm still on my grind for Injustice. I only got I'm right there at 10. I got 10. Once I get done with Scarecrow, I will have him at 30, and then I have 10 more characters, and then I'll have every character in Justice 2 30 rank. I don't know why I went onto that crazy this crazy, just like I want them all, but I'm doing it, so I'm gonna get them all high rank, get all the epic gear for all of them, and man, and then I'll be set. Then I'll be moving on to the next game. But I'll probably stream it here a little bit later. I don't know what I'm going to stream. I'll probably try to see if I can link up with 100, play some Madden. I'm in the mood for some Madden. So, but thank you guys for coming checking out the stream. I just wanted to talk about it. Wanted to show this. Wanted to see what you guys think. I know for the people that listen for it later, let me know in the comments. I mean, what is the perfect length for a game, especially for a single player experience that's linear? Um, just say pretty much kind of like in the wavelength of what is The Last of Us 2. Is it fine to just accept a game that's anywhere from 18 to let's say 30 hours without any replayability at all? Or is it that, or would you rather for a full price game uh, to have a game that's a little bit more that's a little bit more open, or that can give you at least other pathways so you can come back and play it again. I definitely want to hear that. I think that's the topic that I probably might bring up on GRG. I might. We'll see what the rest of the week is going to do with the gaming news. But I think that's important. I mean, I think that those things are really important to the gamers. And then that's why I think the Game Pass personally is why is going to be bigger than what it is now, is because people will have a lot more extra money for buying other things if not for something that they got to do for pay bills or for other toys for or other things regardless. But like I said, if The Last of Us was an Xbox game and it was a part of Game Pass, it would be perfect because nobody would complain. Nobody there would be no reason to complain because if you already just want to play it and you beat it and it's done, that's cool. So PlayStation needs to try to come up with some kind of service for sure. So, all right, but let me know in the chat, man. Thank you. Yes, I'm back. I will be doing more videos. Definitely will be streaming more. Like I said, I'm going to try to stream a little bit later. And man, yeah, when we hear the next thing, my boy 100 covered the bug snack thing to the T, so I'm not going to jump on that. So everybody have a good one, man. Thank you. Thank you for coming by.